Hi, everyone. Very pleased to see a lot of you as part of this webinar. My name is Pierre Bizel. I'm Vice President of Product at Salesmanago. And today I'm going to co-host with my colleague Sergiusz, who's Product Operation Manager as part of our team. And we're going to dive into the great world of deep behavioral personalization. And especially towards the second part of this presentation, dive more into how we're putting this in practice with product collection. We're going to have also, just fair to mention, a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So feel free to ask any questions in a Q&A bar that you should be able to see as part of your screen. And we'd have to as many questions as we can within the time. Perfect. Let's go. So when it comes to personalization and pretty much everything that we are doing, building this marketing automation platform, is that it always starts with the customer. And especially when it comes to this e-commerce elements, it's all about having the right product at the right place at the right time for obviously the right customer. And there's a lot of different ways that we can actually put it in practice through segmentations, automation of emails, or recommendation themselves. But today we're going to dive a bit more into the topic of like personalization as a concept, obviously, because there's been a big theme throughout the last few years. And actually, there's been a lot of great evolutions, and we had just released a few days ago a very good step forward into the more than a one-to-one personalization. I would say we like to call that individualization. So, just I guess the first common that we have, and especially when we look at shopper journeys, is that we would be making the mistake to think it's literally taking a shopper from a point A to a point B. So where they land on the e-commerce homepage and they go to the product and to the basket directly. And that's obviously not what happens. And the reality is actually, these journeys are definitely not linear. They are chaotic. And actually, it's more than a beautiful chaos. And if you analyze how your shoppers actually interacting with your different channels across the categories of your website, it's a lot of like back and forth decisions, people leaving the website, coming back, and also lots of questions and elements that we can try to like support to actually drive at the end the shopper to the purchase. So the second element of this is that as part of this like chaos, there's actually a beauty into it in the fact that all of these journeys are effectively unique. And simply because the intent from a shopper A to a shopper B is going to be entirely different from the background of that shopper, what effectively they're looking for, what are the preferences, what they like, how they like to interact with such like platform. Are they more mobile? Are they more desktop? At what time of the day? Are they going to be more likely to be in there? So we really come here with a massive challenge with the fact that the journey are very complex on their own, but also they are so complex that like trying to apply just one size fits all solution will be very hard, and we actually might miss a great opportunity of like tailoring the experience for our shoppers. So that brings us to like this big question: is how effectively can we try to make sense of all these behavioral cues that we are collecting? So obviously, the great advantage of like digital and digital commerce is the fact that we are able to track a lot of the interactions, collect a lot of interesting information, and effectively, how can we leverage all that interesting data to actually build a really seamless experience for one customer at a time? So that's actually the beauty of personalization, and that's not a big news thing as Baba. So what you're going to see here, for example, is the journey that you're going to get one customer that just joined in, and that's an anonymous customer. We don't know who that person is. We could potentially know which area the person is from the IP address, but it's still very vague at that level. And how that customer is going to go through the website and the journey is we're gonna see that customer went on the first product display page, and then another product page, and from there collecting these first cues when it comes to like pure behavioral and that's what we call first party data. We might actually suggest a third product like a black Vans shoe, simply because it's been influenced by the first few like interaction that person will have had on the website. And obviously when we do that, we in a way start tailoring the experience because it starts to be very focused on the specific person. But effectively, at the end of the day, like if we are lucky, that person actually made a purchase and we actually push the right person, the right product to that customer, but we don't necessarily know too much about that person in general. We might have collected some more information now, like the name and more information about the transaction itself, but it's still very basic. And as much as this one-to-one is still very the start of what we could do using proper personalization. So that leads us to the point, and this is a very strong view that we have here at Sales Manago, is that actually vendors owe more to their customers. And we've been very strong advocate to what we call zero-party data, which is information that is given from the shoppers to the brands to help tailor their experience so that we have a much stronger insight on how basically we can support that experience and provide the right product. And the thing that we've been seeing is actually like this is something that is like deeply expected as part of that. So we know that about 73% of the shoppers actually want the brand to really understand them as unique individuals and adapt the experience based on the needs and the expectation that they will have as part of their shopper journey. We can be actually very tricky on the back of that. And the way we've been looking at this is that trying to actually make sense of the abstract of that journey. So what you have here in the middle is like the first elements that we can track. So we know how will be like this journey to hopefully the purchase and see what information we can gather on the back of this. Additionally, the way that we're looking at it at Sales Manago is that we start looking at the source. Where is that person coming from? What elements of intent we can start gathering around why that person came there? And also, how can we use this to make sure that we try to adapt the experience as early as possible? And what we can see as well on the right-hand side is that with the beauty of like customer data platforms is we've been able to actually identify that person previously through a transaction or previous login in the past. As much if that person comes back and doesn't log in again, we're still able to like know that this person is Steve Young. He told us previously that his favorite brand is Puma. He's been by lots of Puma in the past. His shoe size is 11. And we have that list of all these previous purchases. So this is extremely important. And what we get there, on top of all of this, or just the first party data that will be done through the simple like behavior from a product to another, is all the interactions that that person is going to give us. Here, Steve, for that specific example, from product they will favorite, for what that you're going to start putting nice review on the back of it, or start putting that in his wish list. Discussion they would have had on the live chat, or elements that we have liked as part of the product. And all the different elements is what we call engagement signals. So at the end of the day, the way that we are looking into this is really looking into the channels themselves. Okay, so how is that person interacting? What are the messages that Steve here is going to be more likely to interact with? So then we can take that intent and take that to actually adapt the experience. We're obviously going to look at behavior and engagement signals as a way to actually tailor it even further. But even more importantly, we really want to look at our shoppers as really clear individuals. And we have this great beauty of the 360 profile where we are actually able here to build a very complete picture of any information that we will have about Steve on that specific case. So we will like obviously lots of information there and really took that as like the proper fuel of our marketing automation stack across any of the activities that we'll be doing across the campaigns, across the adaptation of the store. But let's go back and let's talk more about, yes, what we call deep behavioral personalization and see how that could look like in practice. So in the case here, we have some user that comes in and actually get on the website. Luckily for us, we're able to know that it is Steve that was there because he logged in previously and we still had the information in our tracker to actually identify him as part of this. As I mentioned, on top of not just knowing that this is Steve, we know also all the background, where it's coming from, what are the elements that actually liked or didn't actually as part of this, and what information he gave us to us like willingly around what are the core brand or products is more likely to actually be liking and expecting to see as part of our shop. So then we start that journey by really be able to like personalize the experience from the get-go, from the moment that a person actually lands on the homepage of e-commerce. We don't need additional tracking of new elements on the back of that, but we can start personalizing straight away as part of this. We obviously are able to adjust our presentations as that person is going through it, obviously, because we may not be able to target that straight from the get-go, but what we can do there is trying to give a stronger weight of showcasing Puma shoes, because we know that this is one of his favorite brands, We are going to only show product that we have in stock with a shoe size that's been mentioned previously, because there's no point showing a product that is not able to buy because they won't be fitting him. We're going to remove any items that are not in stock on the back of that. And additionally, because we have access to his previous purchases, we are not going to show him shoes or other items that will have bought already, because obviously if he's on this, well, hopefully he's there for a new pair. And this is actually very interesting there, because we get to a point where we are really building a really strong proposition there, not just trying to guess what he might like, but really get to a level of like an individual proposition that is really matching like Steve as was expecting. And this is actually extremely valuable. And actually, we've been seeing a really great benefit of this, because by Steve giving us the information willingly, there's actually a very strong expectations from the brand. And we do have the responsibility to help tailor the experience based on that data currency that our shoppers will have given to us. But we're not stopping there. And that's the very interesting point there, because additionally, we are able to actually identify similar categories that actually could be nicely placed as complementary products on the top of this. So this is where, for example, we're going to suggest additional product that could actually increase the basket value. And an element that actually overpassed a bit quickly there is, based on the previous interaction we've been having with our shopper, we're actually more likely to know what are the things that might actually make him actually move more to like the purchase compared to another one. And here, for example, we know that previously he's been very well interacting with coupons or vouchers, and this is why we actually could push a specific discount for that customer to try to drive him to purchase. And hopefully this is what we've done on the back of that. So additionally, on the back of that, well, just going back to my idea on the complementary products, the big element that we've seen is that actually on average, the basket is actually increasing drastically by like almost a third on average, if we are able to like really tailor the experience for these shoppers. And that's actually the beauty of deep behavioral personalization. So this really strong idea around, we are not going to even just try to guess based on the journey, like as if we were just a salesperson trying to look what he's doing. We're effectively going to take everything that we have and knowledge that proof has been given to us to really personalize on more than a one-to-one level, on an individual level. And hopefully this is also something that's going to drive loyalty, because if you had a great experience as part of this, you're actually more likely to come back to a shop that already knows what you're expecting and knows your preferences. So effectively, what are we doing here? So we are bridging the gap between the understanding of the customers, everything they have, and the understanding of the product. And we're really bringing these two together to basically maximize the matching of the two. We are leveraging all the signals that we have and we're going to collect, from a pure first-party behavioral data aspect to a more zero-party data, a valuable data from the all different engagement that we've had through the lifetime that we've been having with our customer. And all of this get us to a place where we are able to build a proper tailored individual shopping experience for your customers that is going to be like fully designed to match this unique intents that we get for each of your shoppers. But all of that obviously could just come across as just great ideas that comes to this. And actually, we are very pleased today to dive more into effectively how we can leverage this in real life with an item that we released recently, which is product collection. So I'm going to give the slides to Sergiusz, who is going to show us that in lovely practice and dive more into what we can do. So Sergiusz, the microphone is yours.
Thank you so much. Just a quick confirmation if you can see my screen.
Yes, it was good.
Okay, that's great. So let's have a look at, let's start with introduction to product collections in Salesman Angle. So starting with an example, imagine that you have a contact and we are looking at the relations between the contact and the products. In this case, this is a wish list. First of all, what we are going to do is to acquire the data. This is something between zero and first-party data, depending on how you look at it. But we are looking at contacts who have added the product to their wish list. Now, you have most likely already implemented some sort of wish list mechanics on your website. The problem here is that you are not centralizing the data. So from all of those collections that I'll be talking about just in a second, you're storing them in different systems or either in the e-commerce platform where it's not possible, where it's not viable to do all of your marketing activities. Now with Sales Manager product collections, you can synchronize all of those behavioral data, behavioral signals into one place that later allows you to use it for marketing purposes. Now we are looking at pretty much basic use cases such as sending dynamic emails or recommendation frames, but also on much more advanced examples. So with Sales Manager's product collection, you can use this gathered data to target specific contacts, to exchange the data in real time using our API, and later to run back in stock and price drop notifications. So I mentioned wish list. This is one of our key examples of how product collections can be used, but this is definitely not the only one. As mentioned before, we are looking at deeper behavioral personalization. We are looking at all of those signals. So you can very easily create a collections with products that someone has interacted with, such as has zoomed on a picture or perhaps changed the variant, expanded a description. All of those behavioral signals can be used to create product collections that can later be used to further personalize the experience and recommend appropriate products. Another example, comparison. This is a very strong indicator that someone is interested in either product A or B. If they have already compared those two items, why not send both of them explaining the differences in an email or show them in the recommendation frames to drive this person to a purchase? Yet another very strong indicator that someone has some sort of an interaction with product is rating. Now, for product collections, you can very easily create two collections for products that were reviewed positively or negatively, and later use it for your marketing purposes. What else can be created? This is a very good question because, well, the list is not fixed. You can create your custom collections. So you can create a collection of products that someone, for example, read an article about, has played a game, has interacted with, has copied a URL or shared in some other way, and so much more. The big thing here is that you decide what kind of collections you want to create. Having a look at how you can use it in Sales Manager, let's look at a very specific use cases. So as mentioned before, you can use it for targeting. So in this case, you can, for example, target all of the contacts who have a given product on a wish list, or perhaps send a product launch email to all of the contacts that have previously shown interest in a specific product. You can also target contacts who have reviewed certain items. For example, if you have a negative launch of a product, you can then target those contacts with negative reviews and try to win them back. Another use case is events. So currently in workflows, what you can do is you can set up an event that is triggered every time someone adds a product to the specific collection. This allows you to run campaigns after a contact has shown engagement with product. Very soon, coming to Sales Manager, are two types of very important notifications. So we are looking at price drop notification and back in stock notification. The second one is, as far as I know, the most effective marketing campaign, which is even more effective than the abandoned cart campaign. So we are looking at greatly improving your marketing performance with those campaigns. Now, we talked about triggers. Now let's look at the conditions where you can use different flows for contacts depending on products that they have in the collection. So let's imagine that you have a contact who has products in a collection with high margin products. You're most likely to approach this contact differently, maybe even with a human interaction if you're really into this sort of stuff. You can use multi-path branching conditions to check multiple product collections at once. Having all of this before, we can now go ahead and check out the recommendations. So you can use all of this data, all of these behavioral signals, those wish lists, those compared items, those reviewed items, to later send them in recommendations. So you can use this behavioral data to personalize recommendation frames, emails. You can maximize your efficiency by, for example, excluding purchased products or excluding products that someone has reviewed negatively. We already know that they are not interested in those products. Why waste space on those products if we can use it for some other? With this, you can also use your customer recommendations from external engine and still use Sales Manager channel to send all of those recommendations to your contacts. As any proper system, we are delivering also a very strong API, which means that you can synchronize data in real time back and forth between different customers' devices. You can integrate very easily, a hint is coming during this presentation, and export all of this data to power your business intelligence. Before we jump into live demo, I wanted to also mention about anonymous visitors. Now, of course, not everyone on your website is a revealed contact. We don't know who everyone else is. What is important is that we are already working and we've already scheduled a release for yet another project that will enable you to target all of those anonymous visitors based on their signals. So this project called Spotlight will be available later during this quarter, and it will allow you to personalize the experience also for the anonymous contacts. It's live demo time, which means that I have to switch my tab. There you go. So here it is. Of course, you will know Sales Manager dashboard. Let's have a look at product collections. Now, there is not a specific module called product collections inside Sales Manager. The reason for this is that they're intertwined between different modules. You can use them pretty much everywhere, as I have shown you previously. Starting off with the integration center, here in the product catalog sections, you can see all of the product collections that I've already created. Now you can manage all of those product collections via API, so it's really easy to set them up pretty much whenever you need them, or create a specific collection, even from your e-commerce. Now I have created 6 product collections. On this account, I have already added one contact who has some products in their collection. So here on the contact card, if you scroll down, there is product collections tab where you can see all of the products that someone has shown interest in. So here we have products from the wish list. Here we have products that someone was interested in, some products that someone compared. They have not reviewed anything, products that someone viewed for at least 5 seconds. Those are just examples of what kind of product collections you can create. As you can see, you can also take a look at total, average, and number of products. This is very useful as a quick view as an insight into what the contact is really into. At the last collection, something that I want to point you to, zoomed image. There are currently no products in this collection, and we are going to fix it just in a moment. But before we do this, let's jump into email marketing, where we have the option to add all of those products. They use all of those products from products collection. So let's use our ready-made template, and we have 3 products that are always there, but let's use those personalized recommendations to drive the purchases. Now I'm going to choose a main scenario that is called products from selected product collection, and later select products from, let's say, interested in. And this is this deep behavioral personalized collection that was built based on the product engagement by the contact. Just to be safe, if someone has no interactions, let's add a supplementary scenario that will fill in any gaps with recently viewed products. And what is very important for the product collections, we are going to exclude products from this recommendation of everything that someone has already reviewed. As a fashion store, we are not expecting any reorders, so it's safe to assume that we will only be suggesting new products. With all of this said, we have an email with a deeply personalized product recommendations, just those that we have already transferred and synchronized with Sales Manago. Moving forward, we have the exact same mechanics in recommendation frames, something that I'm not going to show you to save on time, but you are able to do exactly the same stuff with the recommendation frames. So you're going to build all of the recommendations for your website based on product collections, as well as exclude products and that someone has recently purchased, reviewed, or perhaps maybe your strategy is to exclude products that someone has previously seen. Let's jump into workflows where we can take a look at the events and conditions that we have prepared. Now you can very easily create a workflow that after someone added product to their collection, let's wait maybe 30 minutes is enough, and then send an email containing all of those recommendations. Such a workflow will work greatly in boosting all of those, in winning back the customer after they have left your page without a purchase. Now, I have recently mentioned that the zoomed in image collection for this contact is empty, and it's about time we fix it. So we are going to do something that most other companies would never do during live webinar, which is show you how we can integrate it live. But we believe in our product. We know it's really easy to do. So let's jump to our demo store and quickly integrate this collection. So let's take a look at this product page. It's a very simple product page. This is just a demo store based on WooCommerce. And what we are going to do is we are going to dive a little bit into code. It's not important what I'm exactly doing. What is important is how easy it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all of this HTML code and do something amazing. So here is yet another project that is coming to Sales Manago called Integration Assistant. This is AI-based solution that allows me to very easily describe my needs and get ready to paste code for my website. So with this product collection integration wizard, what I'm going to tell the GPT is to when someone clicks on the image, add it to collection. Now, of course, this is not enough information for the GPT in order to integrate properly. It asks me to provide the collection ID that I want to synchronize and the product ID. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to get the collection ID from the place that I've shown you previously, which is the Integration Center product catalogs. And let me go to zoomed image and just copy this collection ID. It is also asking me for product ID. So back to the product details page, and we need to find the product ID on this page. So let's take a look at the form for adding it. So we have a form, and here it is. This is the ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this button, go back to GPT, and say, get the product ID from here. Now, of course, as any GPT, it loves to provide some description and explanation before it is able to provide me with the code that I need. So what it's going to do is it's going to find an image, find the add to cart button, and just add it to the collection when it's clicked. copying this code, going back to my demo store. Let's go to WordPress. In WordPress, there are a lot of ways you can add this code. So I'm using just a plugin called Add Headers and Footers. It's not really important. I'm just going to paste the code here, click on Save, and go back to my store. Now let's find some product and zoom on an image to see how it works. How about this product? Let me zoom on an image. As you can see, for me as a customer, it doesn't do anything. There's no message. This data is gathered underneath. So going back to Salesman, go to the contacts list. Here is my contact, and here is the product collections. Now, if we go to the zoomed image, as you can see, it is already synchronized. So we have done it live. This is that simple. Now, when it comes to this GPT, it will be available later in Salesman. This is not the only integration assistant that we are going to build. We are going to also enable you to very easily integrate other things with Salesman, such as contacts or transactional data. So it's that easy and this much powerful. Now, let's jump into Q&As because I'm pretty sure you have a lot of questions to ask.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sagyush. I think great job. Like doing a live demo is always dangerous and tricky. But actually integrating a feature live and showing like how easy it is and how's like real time actually work for us properly, I think is very powerful. So diving to some of the questions that be gathering over this call and some other sources. There's a question here, which is there any limit of products in the collections?
The number of products that you can add to a collection is about 65,000, which pretty much means there is no limit.
Especially in the concept that is for one specific user. So it's you can have pretty much unlimited number of collections as a customer of Salesman. And yeah, on that level, then it comes down to the level of the user that comes from there. Perfect. So let me look as well if there's any more questions. Brilliant. There's some popping up right here. Do you only take engagement data to power product collections?
I think this is a question for me. So no, it's not really not only the engagement data. So of course you can use it for gathering those engagement data, such as interactions with the product page, with the descriptions, but also more specific data, such as adding product to wish list, reviewing it, comparing it. And you can also use it for your customer recommendations. So if you have an engine for recommendations and this is the one for you, you can synchronize all of those recommendations with Salesman and use our channels to deliver those recommendations.
Brilliant. Hubert asking, just to be sure, it all works for monitored customers in CDP. Is that correct?
Yes, so it is working for all of your customers in the CDP. And as far as for anonymous visitors, this is a separate project that we have already. We are already in a beta testing, and you will be able to use those behavioral signals also for anonymous visitors later during this quarter.
Brilliant. I think another one I have here. So when will the back in stock be available? Will you be able to wait, like for example, 15 minutes to send one email with multiple items back in stock at the same time?
So as far as for this project, we are looking at very late Q2 because as you have already mentioned, it is really important to make this project a very powerful toy, a very powerful feature. So not a toy. So we don't want to enable you just to send emails after product has dropped in price or is back in stock. We want you to build entire processes based on this. So we are looking at workflow triggers that allows you to wait a specific number of minutes or hours before a bunch of recommendations are sent at once.
Super. Talking about anonymous users, I have an anonymous attendee asking, in which features can I use product collections?
You can use them in email marketing, in product recommendation frames. You can use them in workflows. You can view them on the contact card. And something that we should not forget about is that we have full API for this, so you can push and pull the data into any other system.
Perfect. I can see some other questions there. I have a question from Dimitris, who said that was awesome. So thanks a lot, Dimitris. What would be useful would be to extract by ChatGPT some behavioral insights for product reviews. So categorize them, get the sentiments, match them against existing features like products or upcoming products, and match them against the company USP. So I think I can take that one. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that we can do on the back of this, and I think as part of our journey and the launch of product collection, we are definitely going to push that even forward. So like Sagush mentioned, we have some great improvements already in the mix with price drop or back in stock that should come in Q2. So yeah, I think the ability to actually use that behavioral data, bring even more sense towards all the engagement signals that we gather. Because the word is always to then we're definitely jumping straight on the opportunity. That's one of the biggest elements for us this year, definitely. I got some additional questions on the other side. Is there a possibility to upload products to collections by API? For example, our user already have built a wish list and we want to move that data to Sales Manago product collections.
Yes, we have a backend API for this where you can upload up to 1,000 contacts with unlimited number of products at once. So you'll be able to integrate all of your archival data in no time.
Perfect. Okay, Pedro asking, what type of data is already available for collections from VTEX to Sales Manago without having to write custom GS to obtain it?
When it comes to VTEX, you will need to you will need to write some custom JavaScript, or perhaps you get some help from a GPT to help you out with this. As you have seen, it really took us about 3 minutes to integrate this very simple use case of zooming in on a picture, but still, if you're able to tap into a wish list from VTEX, you will be able to integrate it very quickly.
No, exactly. And also, I see also idea on the top of that we just launched like product collection last week. We're already seeing a lot of interest on the back of this. So as part of our regular stream of like improving our integrations, so that's what we're looking into. So effectively, the more like demands we're gonna get more towards VTEX or other plugins we already have, we basically update these integrations in due course, obviously. I have another question right here, which is product catalogs are required or product collections can work with XML product feeds.
Product collections require product catalogs, and there is a very important reason for this. So as mentioned, we are looking at back in stock and price drop notifications. Now, when it comes to XML product feeds, those are synchronized every few hours, which means that when this workflow potentially would be triggered, this data would already be obsolete. So we need this real-time synchronization of data that is available only with product catalogs in order to provide with proper experience for product collections and all of those notifications.
Right, thank you so lot. Can you share this GTP with us? There is such option in OpenAI sharing. So can you share it with a link so it could be shared?
Well, I wasn't expecting this, but first of all, I see that the AI is stealing us the show. But in general, yes, in the summary to this webinar, we will be able to share with you a link. This is a beta version. This is something that the code generated by the GPT definitely needs some review before you publish it. But yes, we'll be able to share it.
Exactly. I think on top of that, so it's more tied into our stream when it comes to spreading AI across our platform. So we are not only looking into it for recommendations or workflows automation. We properly looking into any other areas where we could make our teams more efficient and your teams more efficient. So easing the integration using OpenAI or Google Gemini, this is definitely something we're looking into. So yeah, this is not one of the improvements that should come in the upcoming few months. Should be accessible for everybody. But on top of that, just also like to ease the process for like product collections. We are a team which is very hands-on and very like working closely with customers. So any challenges that would come to make that happen, we definitely having like me or Sergey like right speaking with these customers to make that done. Perfect. Let me check if we have any other questions. I think this is it. Wonderful. I mean, as always, if you have any questions for us after this webinar, feel free to drop us a line, it being on our LinkedIn page or regular other channels we have. We'd definitely be very keen to get your feedback as part of this webinar, any interest, any opportunities that could make sense for us to assess. And no, thank you so much for attending. I had a lovely time to do that. Thanks so much, Sergej, for taking the time to run us through this and going through these 2 demos in one webinar. And yeah, we should see all of you guys very soon, hopefully. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.